Hey, welcome to the second installment of my Talking Tuesday, which is, I think, a pretty daddish thing to call it. So I think it's appropriate. This is about anxiety and parenting, and this video is going to be a lot about anxiety and not so much about the parenting side, but managing your anxiety is a big part of parenting. Being a balanced parent so that you can raise balanced children is crucial. And if you're feeling that anxiety is something that you're struggling with, I'm sure you're looking for answers. Again, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have the answers. I'm just telling you about what worked for me. I talk in terms of, you should do this. You might feel that. Do this, do that. And again, that's just the way I talk. This is really my journey, and I'm not a psychologist. I've only been doing this for a couple of years, really focused for the last year. If you want the introduction as to what has brought me this far, look up top. I'll have a card up there that you can click on. Go watch the introduction video. We'll wait for you until you get back. So what I want to talk about today is the biggest thing that I've found that has helped my anxiety, and sort of how that's helped me and how it can help you. But before I get into that, one thing that I've really noticed about anxiety and about people and talking to people about their anxiety is that until you're ready to hear something, you can get the right answers all day long, and they just never actually penetrate. They never get through to you. You just sort of brush them off, or you say, yeah, okay, but that doesn't apply to me. And that really is what my experience was. I went to psychologists, I didn't go to that many psychologists, but I went to a number of psychologists, and I would just want them to show me the way. That's what I went to all of them with, show me the way. And they'd say, well, I want to talk about your background, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that. And I said, yeah, but what I really want is just show me that path. Show me, I'm ready to put in the work. Just show me where I need to put in the work. I'm a hard worker. I'm able to get things done, but just show me where to put my energy, because I just want to put my energy into making things better. And I found that they never actually gave me concrete techniques that I could use. But now that seems like such a silly thing to say, because I just wasn't ready to hear it. They were telling me all of the right things, but I wasn't ready to take it in. I wasn't ready to make that change yet. So I said, yeah, that doesn't apply to me, or I'm not liking what you're telling me. And, I could give you 10 techniques right now that are really meaningful techniques to manage anxiety, but if you're not ready to take it in and take it on, then they're just going to roll off of you. But the good thing is, you'll find a technique that you are ready for. You'll find something that you're ready to take on in the moment and that resonates with you or feels like it's something that you can do, and that'll become a foundation. So as you keep building onto your foundation, the only thing I'd recommend is don't write off the things that you've already heard about and written off in the past, because you might now have a foundation to be able to use that thing. So if somebody's told you, meditate, and you're like, man, I'm not meditating. What are you talking about? I'm a parent and I'm, having these anxiety reactions with my kids. I can't go off and meditate. Are you nuts? That's the way I felt about it. Like, oh, meditation, those people are kind of crazy. But then I spent about a year working on myself. And at a certain point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to try meditation. And I'm not saying that meditation is the thing I'm going to talk about now. It is not. I might talk about meditation. I have done meditation and it's helped me, but that's not the big silver bullet for me. It helped me a lot, but not as much as the big magic reveal that I'll tease now and give you in a couple of minutes. But yeah, definitely when you hear about things, see if you can stay open to them, even if you're not open to them in this moment. Because I think I delayed my progress by writing off things that were good for me because I wasn't ready for them. So I made them not good things in my mind. And then later on, I actually realized that they were good things once I was ready for them. So that said, I credit about 60% of my anxiety relief to this one big thing. And the funny thing is, it was the first thing that anybody told me. When I first went to see somebody about anxiety, I was in first year university. I was stressed out to the max because I was too much of a perfectionist. I know that now. I didn't know that in the moment, but I felt like I needed to maintain A+ in everything. And that was making me a miserable person. And so I went to the doctor, and Heidi actually told me to go to the doctor, my wife, and I was like, okay, you know what? It's time to get some drugs to help this, because that's what, people say you do, is go get some drugs. And I remember that the doctor said, okay, well, before I give you drugs, I recommend you do this one thing, and then come back in 2 weeks and tell me how you feel. And if you still feel like you need drugs, then, we'll go on the drugs. So I said, yeah, sure. But I didn't take it seriously. I said, that's not for me. That's not a thing. That's just something that people say you should do. And I'm not going to do that. So I left for 2 weeks, and then I came back, and he said, did you do that thing? And I said, yeah, sort of, I did that thing, but how about the drugs now? And so, he said, okay, fine. And he prescribed me some drugs. I was on those drugs for a couple of years, and they just made me miserable. I didn't enjoy them at all. So what's the silver bullet, the magic answer to it all that's going to solve your anxiety problems immediately, resolve 60% of that anxiety according to me? It's exercise. I finally started taking exercise seriously about a year ago when I really started taking CBT seriously. I read it in a book, and it just clicked with me that time that exercise could be something that could help me. And more importantly, it's easy. In terms of a lot of the psychological work that you do on yourself takes a long time. It takes you having to dig into your psyche, figure out what your issues are, how you're going to attend to those issues, how you're going to change your thinking. Or you can just get on a stationary bike, you can get on a treadmill, you can run around the block, you can do something that immediately makes you feel better. I feel like a different person coming out of a workout like I am right now compared to who I am going into a workout, or after it's been a while since I've worked out. I work out every second day pretty much religiously because I feel like that's the right amount of time for me. If I go a third day, you start to see it in my behavior. My anxiety is a little bit harder to manage. I lean more on the techniques of CBT and all of the other things that I do than I have to when I exercise. So if you want to do something right now that could improve your anxiety, improve your quality of life and everything, go and work out. Give it a try. It can't hurt. It really can't hurt. You can't come out worse than you went in unless you go ridiculously hurt yourself or something. But be reasonable. Give it a good, hard try. I find that I really need to push myself to be able to get to that point, to get those endorphins flowing, to get that runner's high that people talk about. And you might need to build up your cardio to get to there, but that'll probably happen faster than any psychological type work that you do. Now do that too, obviously, you're always going to do that too. But when you go and do an exercise routine or something and then come back, man, it helps so much. You feel so much better. And don't do it to lose weight. I mean, sure, do it to lose weight if you want to lose weight, but here we're talking about anxiety. I've worked out to try and lose weight for a long time. Many times I started and stopped. It was totally frustrating because losing weight is a long-term goal. You have to work out for a very long time to start to see results. With anxiety, you immediately feel better. If you can take stock of yourself after you've worked out compared to when you went in, you will notice that you feel better. Definitely you don't feel worse, but I find that you really do feel better, and learning to notice how differently you feel is something to do with mindfulness that we're going to talk about in the future, and getting to understand what's going on within your body. But definitely your ability to cope with anxiety will substantially increase with working out. Well, this is gross and the baby's starting to cry, so I'm going to stop here and join you in 1 second. Shower. Much better. I think a lot of people right now that are listening to this are probably disappointed. You're saying, exercise, I've heard of that before. Yeah, that's the thing that healthy people do. Blah, 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 I'm not healthy. But I'm not looking to be healthy right now. I'm looking to be happy. I'm looking to be less anxious. And that's a great way to frame it. Just frame it as this is a way to help your anxiety. If you're not ready to take this on, just like I said before, and this just isn't something that you can do right now, do yourself a favor and just add something to your calendar for 6 months from now that just says reconsider exercise. Bookmark this video, watch it again, and see if after you've done a couple of the psychological inventory sort of methods and figured out what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and been able to really understand yourself, see if you're ready to come back around to it, because it really is amazing who you can be when you try and get rid of some of that anxiety through exercise. Originally, I planned on also doing a section today about awareness and figuring out what your trigger points are. That'll definitely be my next video, but I'm already over 10 minutes, I'm sure, so I will cut it out here for the week, and I'll pick it up again next week. Now, next week we're on vacation. If I'm able to, I will record a video about awareness and all of that sort of stuff, but if I'm not able to, I might have to skip the week. So I will play it by ear and go with what life lets me do, and I hope that you'll keep following along and like and subscribe, because those two things really help me out. So thanks a lot, and have a great night.